The sheep competition at the Royal Melbourne Show started in the 1870s, so there's been a competition as part of the Melbourne Show since then. The competitions have always been about showcasing the best of the best for each breed. So the exhibitors come along to promote their breed and their stud and have a really great opportunity to catch up with each other.
Bruce Starrett. I've been involved in stud breeding all my life. My grandfather started a sheep stud in 1914.
I'm Ivan Hazewood. I live on the family farm. Stud sheep have been bred there since 1871.
My name is Ian Bucknell. My connection with the RAS dates back to when I became an exhibitor in 1962, and from then on I've virtually called this place home.
During the sheep competition and across the Melbourne Show, we have about 25 breeds that are on display.
My grandfather started off in 1914 breeding Border Leicesters, and I think he first showed here in about 1916.
That time, early days, was the Pole Dorset was a breed of sheep that was just starting to evolve. It was actually a Dorset horn without horns, and they'd only been going for 2 or 3 years and very few breeders. But I took the challenge that, I'll have a go at this new breed, and really I became involved, and I saw it grow from very small numbers right up to huge numbers, and particularly here at the Melbourne Show.
Yes, I was at school, and it was the first Royal Show, I think, after the war. And I remember saying to someone, what's it like, this Royal Show? I mean, how big is it? And
it was very much agricultural orientated, and large numbers of sheep and cattle.
I think they were being judged on the Thursday. We had to leave our property on the Monday so that they'd settle in.
You'd send your sheep on one plane, you'd get on another, you'd go to the showground.
It was quite a sort of a different adventure, I suppose.
Adrenaline would be running high early in the morning, and because probably with the sheep they have inspections and things like that to make sure they're in the right classes.
You'd bring down a full team of sheep, which was about 24, you'd bring 2 in each class.
Yeah, it was usually a pretty sleepless night the night before, just through excitement and hoping that you've prepared them right and you got them right for the very day. I suppose our wool industry has been built on merinos, and the history of that, of course, dates right back to the Spanish merinos that came out and that. And we've been very successful as Australia was built on the sheep's back, as they said, was mainly wool, not meat. In the meat breeds there's long wools and short wools, which can be a bit confusing to the average person. But your short wools are a short, dense type wool, and they're not a very long staple, and your long wools are usually a long luster type of wool. I suppose the popularity comes back to merinos for wool and your Downs breeds for meat. To judge, it's exciting. I find it exciting, and I've been fortunate enough to judge both all around Australia and overseas.
I consider that some people are gifted. A lot of experience helps you, but some people have just got the ability to sum up the value almost in a flash.
When you're being judged in the show ring, well, the fleece means so much to the judge. It's probably 80% of the assessment of that animal, whereas the meat sheep, they don't eliminate the wool completely, but it's in reverse. It's probably 80% of it is built on the meat and just 20% on the wool and other attributes of it.
The top judges have probably made up their mind before they really start to handle and analyse the sheep in detail. Their experience is just so helpful to them.
Some of the classes, they were up to 70 odd sheep in a class, and Well, if you could give them the first 3, you had something to be very proud of.
It sharpens up your focus. You meet the top people in the livestock scene.
It was very important for stock sales in the early days.
They had the sales on the Melbourne Showground in conjunction with the show, and I got what I thought was a bonanza for the sheep I was able to offer.
You know, winning was part of your business. If you didn't win, your sales would drop. So if you won, your sales did increase. So yeah, it was part of the game.
One of the great satisfactions that I've got is the memories of how it broadened my orbit of acquaintances, and
They were your competitors on the day, but you were friends apart from that, and you know, that's the way it should be.
wonderful, happy memories I've got of fellow exhibitors in the areas of livestock which I've operated.
So the 2 most important points that people make about why they come and exhibit at the Melbourne show is to promote their breed and the sheep industry, both meat and wool, and also their stud, and the social interaction amongst exhibitors and the opportunity to really have, you know, a few days of close engagement with one another.